What's going on, y'all? Polo Sports Talk and Entertainment. Here again with another one, steadily cooking. Hit the like button, sub to the channel if you're not a member, and also hit them notifications to get all of my content and as well as all of my videos. Now I got some breaking news. At least two of them might be breaking. A couple of them we probably already know by now, but uh, Robert Williams has went through the surgery, and it was successful, and it was to repair the meniscus, and he's expected to return in about 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, that's according to Adrian uh, Wanowski. Uh, and they're also saying that there's optimism in his return, and it could fall on the shorter end of that timeline. Uh, it's no reason to rush it. Robert Williams, he's had his shortcomings with injuries and stuff. We were talking about that yesterday on VZ's channel, on LVZ's channel, and he's been phenomenal this season, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Like I said, so I've been keeping a close look on this situation to see how much this is gonna impact the Celtics, because everybody's already, they've gotten their mindset that the Celtics, they're not taking them seriously. They're just gonna go to the playoffs and they're gonna fail. But I'm like, if Robert Williams is healthy, I mean a healthy, absolute healthy Robert Williams, oh, that's going to give him much more firepower. So we'll look at that situation at hand. Now, in other news, Michael Porter Jr., man, he's according to reports, man, he's had another setback in terms of his rehab. This is according to Mike Singer of the Denver Post. Uh, it says, quote, a source familiar with the situation told Singer that the setback was a result of overcompensation and overwork. Uh, and they said it was nothing major, but, you know, this is going to jeopardize the possibility of Porter returning to action for the Nuggets. Uh, Michael Porter Jr., man, he is coming back so that he could try to continue to remain there. He's going to be playing for the value, because if he comes back, he wants to live up to the money that he was paid. He's still 23, and I feel like there's no there's no reason to rush it, man. Uh you had a back surgery in 2018 and 2019, and that kept you out the entire rookie season. you know and you know you still having trouble with your back. So there's no reason to rush it, man. Just spend time rehabbing. I want to see Michael Porter Jr. He's an exciting player to watch, and he's a very fundamentally sound player, and as well as talented too. But it's no reason at all to rush this thing, because you're gonna do more harm than good. And then, of course, the biggest news is that yeah, what's up with it? For the love of the sport, I see you in the building. Yeah, Robert Williams is out, 4 to 6 weeks, and it could be shorter. But in my opinion, I'm like, don't rush. You don't want to rush anything, because, like I said, he's had his shortcomings with injuries in the past, and it's not something that we want to sit up here and take lightly. I never take anything with the knee, anything with the back, anything with the Achilles, or especially the Achilles. I never take any of that lightly. I'm just being honest with you. Um, and AD, okay, some other breaking news. AD is supposed to be in the lineup, possibly returning to the lineup on Friday when they play the Pelicans. Yeah, it was torn, but they repaired it. That's the same thing that Joel Embiid had, and it's the same thing. And actually, Joel Embiid was actually playing on it in the playoffs, and then also is keeping James Wiseman out too as well. But to get back to what I was saying, Anthony Davis is going to possibly be returning to the lineup on Friday against the Pelicans. Now, here's my thing about that, right? You're gonna come back with the hopes. You've been out, you know, even longer. You know what I'm saying? You've been out constantly on a consistent base on a consistent basis. I don't know how much exactly, but at the same token, you still got to get yourself going again. And actually, that's going to be do more harm than good. Some people might disagree, but I mean, you're talking about a guy, you've been consistently injured. Now, I know I joke around a lot. What's up with the True Viking? I see you in the building, Queen. Now, I know I joke around a lot, in terms of AD and, uh, about him, always falling down, stuff like that. But this right here, man, is serious, man. I'm gonna be real with you. I think it's pointless for AD to come back. You know, like if you if you come back and you get hurt again, you should seriously consider retirement. I'm just being honest with you. You know, now in a case like Paul George who came back, salute to him, salute to Paul George working to get back. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Listen, the magnitude of Paul George's injury was so horrific, man, that some people did not even know if this man was gonna even walk again, yet alone play basketball again. That's one thing I could give Paul George is his you said LeBron, yeah, but well, not what, but see the thing with LeBron, and we're not talking about LeBron, okay, but you know, LeBron, I mean, he hasn't missed nowhere near as many games as AD has, and I know we want to sit here and you want to try to do all the hating we can on LeBron and stuff like that, but what I will say is that you know the man still continued to play. Now, whether or not he's doing it, just so that he could keep up his stats and all this other stuff, that's a whole nother argument and stuff. But I mean, you got to give it to LeBron. A lot of guys aren't going to do what LeBron does in terms of staying out there. But we're not talking about him, okay? We're talking about uh, AD, Robert Williams, and um, Michael Porter Jr. Common Porter. AD has another max contract coming. Retired. Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, and I understand that, like, okay, get your money and stuff like that. But you see, you brought up a good point though. For the love of the sport, you check this out. The CBA is tired of stuff like this. You know, you got to understand, man. The the NBA is trying to put a good product out there, and they're trying to put a healthy product out there too. They're trying to put guys out there. Okay, like Paul George. Okay, just getting back to my point. Paul George could have, with the whole, I think the elbow situation or whatever, he could have continued to stay out, but he worked his way back and got out there And listen, there's no excuses. He put up 34 points against, and this was against, this was, the Jazz are still competitive, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? They still are a playoff team, and he went out there and they beat the Jazz. So I'm just like this, man. There's no need to rush it. There's no need to rush any three of the injuries, that these guys are working to get back. Like Robert Williams the third, man, take as much time as you need. You know what I'm saying? Other guys are just gonna have to step up. You know, I know that the Celtics are hearing criticism talking about, yeah, well, they do the same thing that they do every year and everything, but I really feel like the Celtics, man, you got to really take them seriously. I know some people, they're going to disagree with me and all this other stuff. They're going to say, look at the track record and all this other stuff. But they still, I put to you like this, they barely lost to Toronto, and they didn't have three of their major guys. So that's evident of good coaching, right? Then you take a guy like Michael Porter Jr. This guy is, I don't want him to end up like I was saying about James Wiseman. I don't want him to end up like some of these other guys in the past that they come in with injuries and it kills their career. It kills their career. Yeah. Who is this?
For the love of the sport, Joe Bond.
Oh, okay. All right, man. What's up with it? For the love of the sport, man. That's your channel name, man.
Yeah, that's my channel, bro.
Okay, all right. Make sure y'all go subscribe to the homeboy. For the love of the sport. We're gonna call him Joe Bond, man. You know what I'm saying? We should be calling you James Bond. You know what I'm saying? You coming up in here like dun 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 dun, 007 motherfucker coming up in
That's
here.
what it is, man. 007
I'm
out
messing
here.
with you, man. All right, man. What you got on it, man?
Nah,
Anything?
I just came to chop it up with you, man. I've been listening to you for a couple, man. You give out a lot of good takes, man. A lot of To me it seems unbiased. I can't really tell who you root for, who you don't. So I appreciate your takes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But on the Robert Williams, I think it's a big hit, man. I think that's a big hit for the Celtics, man. I know you're on AD right now. I think AD. Ah, I mean, it's gonna look bad if they don't make the play-in. Regardless, the season is to me is a wash. It's a huge disappointment, a huge failure for the Lakers. Coming into the season, they were favored to come out the West. It didn't work out. The talents that they brought in didn't really mesh. Russell Westbrook, AD, LeBron. I mean, AD to me, I think AD gets a bad rap. He has
Mm-hmm.
been injury prone, but his last two injuries, they really kind of were like a freak accident. One, LeBron threw a guy into his knee, and the other one, bad pass. He landed on a guy's leg. You know what I mean? So I think AD's still a max guy. I still think he's a great talent. You know what I mean? So I definitely don't think he should retire. He definitely has a lot more money to go, a lot more money to make. But I mean, if he comes back, it's honorable. He is risking his health, but it's just to save face at this point. You know what I mean? Like the Lakers look terrible, so I think it's more of like a PR move than anything because I don't think they really have a shot at doing anything. Even if they get in the play, and I think they're gonna lose.
Right. Well, first, let's chop that. Let's dissect that. Now, AD, yeah, it's true enough. The last couple of injuries, okay, yes, that he sustained is okay. They were out of his control. Just like a lot of injuries are out of control. Just like the Paul George injury was out of control. or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. However, you know, listen, when I look at a guy like Paul George, all right, and let's even talk about Kevin Ware. Let's even talk about motherfucking Sean Livingston. I know you remember that. Listen,
Yeah, that
man,
was
these guys
bad.
right here, man, people were wondering if these guys would even walk again. So when you got the passion and being able to get back and be able to play and stuff like that, man, how could you not salute Paul George? However, the thing about that and the reason why I'm bringing that up, Joe Biden, is because of the fact that AD does not take care of his. He doesn't do the things essential in terms of conditioning to keep your body up to par. Listen, people have fallen on several guys or whatever, and hyperextensions. You know what I'm saying? Sprained ankles or whatever. Look at goddamn Jalen Brunson had a gruesome injury, man. It was on TV and he still played. So what I'm saying is like sometimes, man, everybody's body is different, and AD came in being hurt, you know what I'm saying, like he was or whatever. And you knew that when he was in New Orleans, he wasn't really going to pan out because he didn't even become successful until DeMarcus Cousins got there. And on top of that, you take into account the guy has missed 23% of his NBA career as well or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's like I think it's like I forget how many regular season games that is. Now he only missed one playoff game. I will give him that, but that's still quite a significant amount of games. Another thing, man, Robert Williams is a huge loss. I mean, the guy was the number one. He was the number one guy in terms of defensive rating. He eclipsed Jared Allen, and on top of that, you also got to take into account too this, Joe Biden. The Celtics have the number one ranked defense. Okay, and they were in the interchangeables. It was between Phoenix and Golden State, surprisingly, and Memphis. So he's a force on that defense, and also them guys are playing at an elite level. I'm still taking them seriously. A lot of guys ain't taking them seriously. I'm still taking them seriously. And my final point too, man, Joe Biden, Lakers aren't making the play-in. Shoot, and they ain't even sniffing the play-in, man. You got to give San Antonio props. And see, that's what the media perpetuates. They still want to talk about the Lakers. No, let's talk about DeJounte Murray. He's with the Spurs. He's leading the league in steals. He's a goddamn all-star. Talk about his ass. What you think?
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact, Polo. The media is terrible what they do, man. They just keep talking Lakers, Lakers, Lakers. When there's so much talent in the league, man, the league is so much better off with even the Lakers being out because we get to see these young stars. We get to see it. We get to talk about all the great talent and the guys like you said, DeJounte Murray. A lot of the casual fans don't even know who that is, and that's a shame. You know what I mean? That's a shame. So we only talk about LeBron. We only talk about the Lakers. We only talk about like the usual characters. But in reality, there's so much talent in the league. There's a crazy amount of talent, and these guys are showing their ass off, Polo. So I mean, I appreciate the coverage that you give to everybody. You know what I mean? So I think I think the Lakers, man, they're over talked about. They don't really they're done with. It's true. Even with AD and Russell Westbrook and LeBron in the lineup, they were still trash. So let's not act like the injuries were the reason that they're trash. They've been trash all year. You know what I mean, Polo? They've been trash all year with them in the lineup, without the lineup. Like they've been trash all year. So and the Robert Williams thing, I think it's bigger than you're giving credence to because you think they're still gonna be as good or still that much of a threat without Robert Williams to me than
Yeah,
Daniel
well,
Dice,
there'll still be
Al
a threat.
Horford,
Well,
Grant
well,
Williams.
well,
I don't know if they could replace that.
well, no, no, no. They can't. But this is the thing. You got to consider this too. Marcus Smart is also a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year too.
Hmm.
Because he's been up there. But I still got goddamn Mikal Bridges as the number one because he's all over the floor. He's the second coming of me myself personally. I said Robert Horry, but now that I looked at it because I actually do study, you know what I'm saying? I looked at Michael Cooper and I looked at Mikal Bridges, and I looked back at Michael Cooper, then I looked at Mikal Bridges, then I looked at Robert Horry, and I said, even Monty Williams said that he reminded him more of Michael Cooper. So when you go look at Michael Cooper and the things that he used to do and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, and really break it down scientifically, then you'll understand the essence of a guy like a Mikael Bridges. But yes, with the coaching that Ima Udoka is having, hell, somebody phone. Anyways, hey, check this out, Joe Biden. This is what I was gonna ask you. Now, would you be ready to put Doc Rivers on the level of Ima Udoka? Because think about it, they blew us out the last time they played the Sixers. So just yeah, I mean, you got to take that into account. His coaching is unbelievable, and like Rashawn was just saying, that was fact. He said that what's it called? The Raptors they barely beat them with having four starters out, so that's evident of good coaching. And then you also mentioned Gordon Hayward. Yes, that was a devastating injury too as well. I forgot about that. But what you think about that, Joe Bond?
Nah, I think Emil Udoka he's candidate for coach of the year, man, because they were 17-19 before they turned it around, and his defense,
Yeah,
his
11,
his
11 to
schemes,
11 to number 1 at one point, Joe Bond.
yeah. So his attention to detail is amazing. Like they're really not in nail biters. They're really blowing teams out. So you got to give Udoka his credit. Early in the season, people were kind of worried about him. Oh, is he a good coach? Is he not? Well, he quieted all the haters, and it's a fact. He's in the run for coach of the year. So to me, right now, I think he's a better better coach than Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers has underachieved with a lot of talent. Udoka is doing this. And to me, the Celtics don't even have that much depth. They have, the two guys, but when it goes to the bench, they really don't have depth like that. So what he's doing, what he's able to do with the guys that he has, I think he's a fantastic coach, Polo. Honestly, I really do.
Nah, man. He comes from the school of nah. You on point with that. I'm trying to find an angle to disagree with Joe Biden, but I can't because the thing about it is he's coming from the school of Greg Popovich. You know what I'm saying? And he's been on that coaching staff for quite some time to be able to grasp what the Spurs are doing. And on top of that, he was able to bring a guy in White from the Spurs that knows what type of culture that he's trying to run what type of system. They play like a young San Antonio. And listen, this is what I said earlier too. Last point, I said an interesting finals and a more captivating finals, in my opinion. And I'm not even a Celtics fan or nor a Phoenix fan. It would be the Celtics versus the Phoenix. I'm not taking anything away from the Bucks. We know Giannis put up his 40 and stuff, but it see, I don't know, man. The Celtics are so deep, man, and they play so rugged and so physical, man.
Yeah, the Suns and the Celtics, that'd be a great chess match because Monty Williams, Chris Paul, all the guys.
Yeah,
That'd be a great
yeah.
chess match. That'd be a tit for tat chess match. And Phoenix is deep as well. They go nine, they go 8, 9 deep as well. They got a couple of guys leading the league in 3-point shooting. And I'm gonna give
hmm
you a stat, Polo, that you probably would be surprised to hear about the Phoenix Suns. They
hmm
are 30th in 3-point attempts and about 29 or 28 in layup attempts. That means they're beating everybody with mid-range jumpers.
Yeah, no. That's fat. No, that's on point right there. Yeah, because they get on D Book about shooting the mid range a lot, but guess what? He's improved from the 3 point. He went up 4%. Shout out to Hitman X because he had mentioned that he went up 4%. So yes, they're doing it. And then guess what? DeAndre Ayton he got 64% from field goal range. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like, why can you not call Aiden one of the top guys in big men in the league? And people would say, "Oh, you tripping, Polo? He ain't no future Hall of Famer." Go look at his numbers. He put up 35 and 14 against Carl Anthony Towns, and that was a career high.
Yeah, I think DeAndre Ayton's the real deal. I don't know if I'll give him a max contract because that's what he's asking for, but he's the real
hmm
deal. He's the real
I
deal.
will. I will
You
because
would?
what? Yeah, absolutely. That's what everybody's combating me on. Check this out, Joe Biden. The reason why I'm gonna give uh, DeAndre Ayton that contract is for what he brings to the table. You got to think about, man, he could move on the pick and roll, both defensively and offensively. Listen, he's the third option, right? But guess what? When Book went out, when CP3 was out, guess who was holding it down? It was DeAndre Ayton. You want this guy to put up 40 points and 15 rebounds every single goddamn night. He's not in Giannis's position. So I mean, we gotta take into account that if he was in that position, which he will be, hopefully pretty soon, as the future, as one of the young stars or whatever, then he'll be able to be that muscle in the middle, that primary score or whatever. But my thing is this: you got to look at how humble he is. Mikal Bridges could be like, well, you know what, man, I want my money. Fuck all that, and start shooting and all this other stuff. Mikal Bridges could shoot. He dunk on niggas and all that other stuff. You saw what he did in Villanova. But they're doing what is necessary for the betterment of the team.
Nah, that's true, Polo. That is true. I mean, you do get 3 max contracts, so I mean, I wouldn't be bad to give it to him. I'm just kind of on the fence about it, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
you're right. He does his job.
I put it
He does his
okay,
job.
Joe Bond. Then put it to okay. I put to you like this then. I bet you if Aiden, I guarantee you, I put money on this. I put $100 on anybody right now. If Aiden was to say, "Hey, I'm leaving Phoenix right now," I guarantee you, almost 90% of the teams would be trying to grab him just off of what he brings to the table on defense and offense. He's got a mid range. He can pick and pop and pick and roll. That is what the big man does in the league nowadays. Pick and pop, pick and roll. Carl Anthony down. Pick and pop, pick and roll. Jokic can handle the fucking rock. He can pick and pop, pick and roll.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact, Polo. I can't disagree with you on that. He does everything you ask for
Cause
him.
who's your squad, Joe Bond?
I mean, I'm a fan of the sport, just like my name. I'm not really rooting for anybody. I mean, I enjoy
Oh,
everybody.
okay,
You know what
okay,
I mean?
okay. All right.
I enjoy
I,
everybody.
I thought you was like a New York, Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy watching Brooklyn, of course. You know,
Hmm.
KD, Kyrie, but I enjoy watching everybody. I'm a fan, like I said, a fan of the sport. I'm a fan of the leather, Polo. When these guys retire, I'm
Right,
gonna still
right,
be
right.
watching the game, man. I don't care,
Yeah, I
bro.
heard
Like,
that.
you know what I mean? Like when these guys retire,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
man.
still be
Whether it's
watching the
Spalding or
game. Like,
Wilson, shit, as long as they go
yeah,
in
I
the
don't
net, that's
care.
all that
I,
matters.
I I watch college ball. I watch high school ball.
Ooh,
Like,
who you got? Okay, who you
I
got? Okay, let's take it there. You opening up a can of worms. All right, Joe Bond. Oh man, who you got, man, winning this Final Four, bro?
it's gonna be tough, man. I mean, I would like, I would like Duke to win it just because it's his last year, but
Hmm.
I don't know. It's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna be tough. I really been I'm watching your streams on it to get more insights because I've been like in and out. Yeah, I haven't really
Hmm.
been too in it.
Hmm.
These, but I would like to see Duke win it just for Krzyzewski. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, let me let you know like this because I mean Kansas. I mean, Kansas and Villanova. Nobody's really interested in that game, but I got Villanova going to the game. But everybody want to see Duke and North Carolina. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
the okay, they're 1-1. You got to think about what's all at stakes here. You got a lot of different things at stake that we could talk about. Coach K, the obvious man, icing on the cake. He done passed Wooden for the most finals for the appearances. This is his last year. They want him to go out on top. Okay, that's another dynamic. But you got a brewing rivalry that has been a rivalry forever in UNC and Duke or whatever. You know what I'm saying? These two guys, they always been clashing. Last time, you know what I'm saying, they beat each other in each other's houses or whatever. You know what I'm saying? The Carolina Hills, they beat us in Cameron Indoor Stadium, and we beat them in Chapel Hill. So now the stage is set. They ain't in neither one of the houses. They over there in New Orleans. You feel me? So now you got that dynamic, and then this is another thing. It's going to be interesting that nobody's looking at too, since you want to know about it. Baycott and Mark Williams have pretty much held it down for the forces in the middle, and everybody's talking about these other guys on North Carolina, like the Loves and all these other guys that's on North Carolina or whatever. No, Baycott and Mark Williams, their draft stock don't went up because they're forces in the middle. They do anything. Last game, what's it not? Baycott, he had like 22 rebounds against St. Peter's. You know what I'm saying? So that matchup is going to be interesting in the middle. That's what, and I think they both top 10 in the draft. Me personally.
Damn. So who are you picking out of those top four?
Duke.
Who you think's the strongest? Duke, right?
Dude, man, I mean, I might be being biased, you know what I'm
You
saying?
know
But
what I mean? Yeah, and as long as you're
I,
honest about your bias, we can't be mad. You feel me?
I just feel like there's not going to be an answer if we're clicking because Roach got to be on the same page, Banchero got to be on the same page, of course Williams, and also Moore Jr. as well as the other collective guys. We got to be on the same page because last time uh, we played sluggish when we began against Texas Tech. Man, Joe Bond, they was coming out dunking on motherfuckers. They were like, man, dude, cool.
Yeah, they got that boy. What's his name? Paolo. What's his name? Duke.
Yeah,
That Duke. The
yeah,
Duke
Banchero, Paola,
Payola.
Banchero. He gonna be number one in the draft though.
Yeah, he's a player, man. He's a player. He's a
But
player.
he could be very inefficient. Let's see, last time he shot poorly against North Carolina or whatever. He didn't play that well. He,
Yeah, yeah,
the first time he did, he played good because we beat him the first earlier in February. But when
yeah.
March came, they came back, man, and they did their thing. New York, I'm sorry about that. North Carolina did.
I seen something about him that he's like a heavy sweater and he gets dehydrated really fast, loses 7 pounds a game. I was like, what the hell? So he be cramping up a lot. So that could have something to
Right.
do with his efficiency in some of those games when he's cramping up. But
Hmm.
I seen that he has some type of I don't know if it's like a disease or what, but he's like a heavy sweater and he cramps up a lot. So that's something that
Right.
they're dealing with. I seen a
Hmm.
story on that.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, either way, you know what I'm saying? They don't care if you got cramps, you know what I'm saying? They don't care if you got a sprained ankle, you know what I'm saying? They don't care if you got migraines, you know what I'm saying? They don't care if you got a
Facts.
cold, damn. They don't even care if you got
Facts.
the goddamn COVID, nigga.
That's a
They still
fact.
gonna get that damn victory.
That's a fact.
They ain't worried
That's
about
a
that shit.
fact.
Oh, bet you, oh, he's sick. Oh well, shit,
Strap,
championship. That's what they
strap.
think.
Yep. Tighten them laces.
Yeah,
Tighten them
man, like.
laces. Strap your boots
It's
up.
like, oh shit. Well, man, it's like when Deontay Wilder found out about, Tyson Fury's daughter in the hospital and stuff like that. He's like, look, hey man, I feel sorry for your daughter. I want to send my condolences and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But come such and such date, nigga, I'm still knocking your ass out.
Yeah, no, it didn't work out too well for him either, though. Tyson came through. He's humbled his ass. He
Yeah.
he jabbed him to death.
What's up, Jelly Bean? I see you in the building, man.
Well, yo, Polo, I'm gonna get to the gym. It was nice chopping it up with you. I'm gonna hop on
Oh, okay. Oh man,
another time.
what you working out in the gym, man? What you finna go hoop?
Nah. I'm working out. I'm about to lift.
Oh, okay. He over there doing the calisthenics and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
I
about to
know. What
lift today.
you on the East Coast?
Yeah, I'm
For
on
the
the East
love of
Coast, but I
what?
ball up too. Like I had a game like what was it last week? I hit like 8 threes in the game, so I ball too. You know what I mean? I ball.
Oh, okay. All right, that's what's up, man. Well, shoot, man. I thank you for stopping through. Make
Nah, I
sure y'all go
appreciate you,
subscribe to the
Polo.
homie, man. For the love of the sport, man.
You already
Go
know,
subscribe
Polo. I
to his channel,
appreciate you,
man.
man. Appreciate you. I'll see you soon.
All right, Joe Bond, man. Thanks for stopping through.
Later.
But man, like I said, man, you know, it's like I said, these teams that are in this squad. I mean, I'm sorry about that. In this tournament, it's all fair game, but everybody is focused on what you call North Carolina, and they focus on Duke. They're not focused on any other game right now. They're not focused on that. I'm glad he was able to, stop through, man. I'm just up in here talking about Robert Williams, talking about AD, talking about um Michael Porter Jr. too. There's no reason to rush any of them back. We don't want nothing. We don't want nothing worse happening when they come back. I mean, that's just plain and simple. I I put to you like this. I I'm about to place a bet with everybody. How much y'all want to bet that AD is not gonna last and he gonna end up. Well, I don't want to bet that type of shit. I don't want to. I don't want to jinx a man getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? But I'll be thoroughly surprised if he lasts throughout the whole entire season or the rest of the season or what's left. You said especially AD. What about AD, Mike? What about AD? What about him? I don't want nothing bad happening to that guy. I really don't. I don't want nothing bad happening to this guy. I mean, do you feel like he could last? Like, how many? Matter of fact, I think the big question, while everybody giving Kawhi that smoke about how much time he got left, I think the biggest question we should be asking is how how much time does AD have left in his NBA career? That's the question we really need to be asking. Can any of y'all answer that? How much time do y'all think? Me myself personally, I don't see AD lasting 2 years, man. Yeah, well, nah, they saying that he might come back on Friday. Might that's what the report says. He's expected to be back on Friday. Or he's likely to be back against the Pelicans. Now, me myself personally, if I'm AD, I'm like, nah. Uh, What I was saying about AD is that he should have sat out last year, and not even came back and tried to even force the issue. When he was having problems with his, between his calf, and they were talking about, it might have been something wrong with his Achilles and all that stuff. This man, he's got 50 plus injuries and counting. It's just ridiculous, man. The guy can barely stand, and I'm being serious, man. I know, yeah, a lot of the guys, you know, they talk about him being soft and all that other stuff. Listen, man, you're gonna get that reputation, man. If every day on day, it's like a skeleton that falls and breaks every time you touch it. Every time you touch that skeleton, it just falls and breaks. That's pretty much what happens to AD. And we can't be empathetic or sympathetic or anything, because what you're doing in the off season is very vital. Listen, everybody wonders why LeBron is durable and just now starting to get injuries and stuff like that, because he took care of his body. Everybody wonders why guys like Kevin Willis and uh, Karl Malone, even though I'm not a fan of Karl Malone, and all these other guys were able to play so long because they took care of their body. As much as I don't like Karl Malone because of some stuff I'm not going to mention on here, I would see him doing his off season stuff, and he would be working out, back at home, running and training and stuff like that. You got to respect guys like I think it was Jerry Rice. He was notorious for his off season workouts. He used to run this little, I think it was like, I forget how many miles it was. It was like this little hill or mountain he used to run it in every off season, and a lot of the players struggle with it. Doing stuff like that in the off season is really important. Even like with Kobe, even though his body failed him, but that was because Kobe uh, you know, he was an insane workaholic. But you just got some guys that just want to chill, that they want to chill and take it easy in the off season because they feel like I've done all of my work, during the season, train or well, doing practices and all that other stuff. But yeah, man, it's no reason to rush it because Michael Porter Jr. does have the talent, man. It's just that it's about him staying healthy. That back, man, is something. And everybody got on Ben Simmons too. Ben Simmons, he's having back issues. He's having really really bad back issues and stuff. So that's something that we gotta watch out for. Even like I know he hasn't lived up to playing that well, even with Draymond Green. Okay, Draymond Green ain't no 100%. You starting to question now. What's up? What's up with this guy? In terms of his health. But I'm not gonna fault him for getting out there. But I mean, you still got nobody's gonna have no sympathy if you step up out there. Paul George, he stepped out there and he did his thing, man. I got to give Paul George. I can't never question Paul George's heart and his will and desire to come back. Now you could say that like in the playoffs and stuff like that in the past, when they're calling them way off P or playoff P and all that stuff, but in terms of him working to get back and everything, I salute that man for working to get back really, really quick. Even a case like Brook Lopez, he working to get back. He could have been like, you know what, nah, I'm gonna chill and take it easy. But it's no reason to rush Robert Williams the third at all, nor Michael Porter Jr. and definitely not AD. There's no reason to rush them guys. you know, thing you got to be worried about is also Jamal Murray. They were talking like both of them were supposed to be back by the end of the season, man. But I'm like, it'd be pointless really to come back, man. You coming back, playoffs, and you've been out like a long ass time. That's you doing more harm than good. Oh yeah, man, I got to be there for the team and all this other stuff, man. You're doing more damage to your team. You're doing a lot of damage to your team. So that's all I got. Um, Make sure y'all like the video, share, subscribe, hit them notifications. Polo Sports Talking Entertainment. I'm gonna get at you later.